Okay guys, I'm making this video in response to really what's happening in pretty much everywhere you go. Whether you live in the US, Europe, anywhere you go now, one of the things that is becoming increasingly popular is the use of masks. Now, this whole thing with, Corona, this whole thing with COVID-19, regardless of what you believe on the mask is or how much faith you have on the mask, it's inevitable that you're going to encounter this wherever you go. If you have your dogs with you, if you take your dogs out in public, if you have a service dog, whatever situation you find yourself in with your dog, it is almost inevitable that you're going to find yourself surrounded by people who are wearing a mask. Even if you're not surrounded by them, your dog is going to encounter people with masks. The dog that you have with you may be okay with masks. It's a minor change in the environment and your dog will probably do okay. However, there are dogs that actually need to be somewhat introduced to what a mask is. And if my dog is going to see somebody with a mask, I'd rather it be under ideal circumstances, not for the first time and then, oh crap, I didn't like that and now I'm having a bad experience. Now I'm having to troubleshoot whatever is happening at this point and troubleshoot the training later on to make sure that this isn't an issue later. What I want to do is I want to introduce this properly. And the way we're going to introduce it properly is going to be either with myself or with volunteers. But I want my dog to see this under the ideal circumstances. Now, you have two types of face coverings, two types of masks when it comes to what your dog is going to encounter. You have this right here, which is pretty cut and dry, right? It's a very popular one. The other one you have is going to be one of these. So in either case, your dog is going to see partial covering of the face, okay? This can actually freak some dogs out. I've seen it happen. So we're going to introduce this properly. So I want my dog to see this, right? But not immediately. What I want to do is I want him to see this partially, and I'm going to feed my dog and I'm going to make sure that he has a good experience. Then maybe I'll do this, right? And then I'll get to this point. Now my dog has seen somebody with a mask. It's me, obviously, and now my dog is having a bunch of good experiences. If I can introduce a volunteer, I will definitely have a volunteer help me out with this. And it's nothing but tossing food, and then maybe you'll do some obedience with my dog. And then it doesn't have to be anything long and crazy. It can just be like, hey, there's somebody with a mask, and that's it, right? Some obedience, and we're good to go, all right? You want your dog to see this under the ideal circumstances. Like I said, most dogs, probably about 80% of dogs, depending on where you are too, are probably going to be okay with this. But there's going to be a number of dogs that are not going to be okay with this if they see it for the first time. So if you have one of these, maybe start like this, then work your way up. And then now you have a full mask. The dog can see that and no issues, no problems whatsoever. Now when your dog sees this in public, they're less likely to run into any problems.
Girl. Easy, easy. Face it down, down.